If at first you don't succeed, try again. Reach for the moon, because even if you miss, you'll still be among the stars. Look, I'm not going to waste your time with these cheesy motivational quotes. I'm not saying that's not good information, but what I am saying is there are certain phrases that have been recycled over and over to the point where they're just empty. They're just empty words we say to each other to get each other through a rough moment. They become cliche. So what you need now is you need somebody who can give you real stories of failure, real stories of triumph. Somebody who understands how it feels to feel this small, but they also know how it feels to be on top of the world. Somebody who understands mindset that can help you identify the mental roadblocks that is keeping you from living your best life now. And that person needs to be able to convey all that into an easy to understand message and still entertain. Well, here I am. So let's get started. First, I'm asking a series of questions, and at the very minimum, if it applies to you, just raise your hand. But if that is not enough, raise your hand and throw in a little Everybody try. No, it has to come from the belly. Do it one more time. Sounds good. Question 1. How many of you have kids? 2. How many of you want what's best for your kids? 3. How many of you have ever been a kid? See, some of you aren't listening. I tricked you. Question 4. When you were a kid, did you envision an extraordinary life as you got older? Of course you did, because that's what kids do. Ask any kid what they want to be when they grow up. They'll say, doctor, professional athlete, president of the United States of America. And they say without hesitation because in a kid's mind, nothing's too big, no goal is too low, no dream is out of reach. But what happens as we get older is we get hit with doses of reality. Remember hearing phrases like this? Don't get your hopes up. Or, success is only destined for a chosen few. And we're just not part of that chosen few. Well, they're lies. And these people mean well, but they're lies. And the crime is that 99% of the population accepts this as fact. And then they grow up and they pass it to the next generation. And then they grow up and they pass it to the next generation. And this is a cycle that's got to stop. That's going to stop tonight because everybody in this room is going to do their part. Can I get them? Good. Because this is what it means to get back to one. Because a 1-year-old sitting in his or her mom's lap sees the world as this exciting place, this unlimited potential. And keep in mind, they're still crawling around to get everywhere, but they see people walking and they go, I'm going to do that. I'm going to walk. See, they're not thinking about how hard it's going to be or how much failure is going to be involved. They just see something that can dramatically improve their life and they want to be part of it. And the young mind says, hey, there's no reason I can't do it because I see other people already doing it and they're no more special than I am. You remember how it feels to feel that way? And you can't stop a 1-year-old once they've made up their mind, can you, parents? See, I am 2 years older than my sister Tony, so you can picture me at 3. It's easy. I'm just a little shorter now, but I got the facial hair now. You picture her at 1, and she starts taking her first steps, and my mom just goes out of her mind, excited her baby girl is walking. And me, as her big brother, I did what any big brother would do in that position. I ran to my baby sister's side and I shoved her on the ground. Yeah, I really did. As soon as my butt healed up from that beating mom gave me, and she turned around, I pushed Tony down again. But guess what? It didn't matter how many times I pushed her. She kept going until she walked. And as a matter of fact, I think she did it to spite me, but she managed to get a job as a crossing guard. So she's on somebody's payroll to walk elementary school kids across the street, including mine. And you should see her when I see her at work too. She's all smug about it, like, look what I can do, Mike. Tried to stop me. Oh, couldn't stop her. But get back to one. Get back to a time when you felt like you could do anything. And get back to a time when once you made up your mind that you're going to improve your life, nobody could stop you. Even if it's somebody who's supposed to be on your side, like your big brother, spouse, your best friend. Get back to one. Get excited about life again. And that's how we can get back to one, but how can you empower others to get back to one? Well, first of all, we can start off by being more supportive of one another. See, babies, they don't just start walking. First they crawl, and they crawl to the coffee table or the sofa, and they pull themselves up. And everybody around them does what? They clap, they laugh, they smile, they go, look at the baby, so cute. And the baby senses that. He or she knows people are behind them. It encourages them to keep moving forward. And then one day, while holding on, that baby walks along that couch. And people get excited, right? The cycle continues. And then one day, the baby stands on his own feet, wobbly knee, but he stands. People get excited, right? The cycle continues. And then one day, the baby takes their first step, and they face plant. And people get excited, right? No! You don't get excited when baby does it. Everybody who did that said, yeah, is sick. I'm not calling any names. I'm not even going to point. You know who you are. What you do is you run over to the side, you help them up, you brush them off, you encourage them to keep moving forward. Baby, you're almost there, don't give up. You're closer today than you were yesterday, you'll get it tomorrow. Just don't give up. And if their confidence is shaken, you hold their hand to get them back on track. Now, ask yourself and be honest. As an adult, loved one goes after a big dream or goal. Take their first step. Make a face plan. Because it's going to happen. Failure is part of the process. Do we help them up? Do we encourage them to keep moving? Do we brush them off? Do we hold their hand if they need it? Or do we go, oh, no, don't get back up. So you're just going to fall again. And there's nothing wrong with crawling your whole life. It's just too ambitious at this point. No, that's not how you get back to one. But in closing, let me encourage every one of you to get back to that time. Get back to one. And how do you get started? Just say this pledge with me.